Introduction. In this conversation, Alice and Elizabeth are high school students who discuss their experiences and challenges with learning English grammar. They cover topics such as their favorite and least favorite grammar topics, study techniques, preparation for exams, and the importance of grammar in their overall language learning journey. The dialogue uses simple vocabulary and sentence structures to make it accessible for intermediate learners. Monday morning, before class.
Good morning, Elizabeth. How are you today?
Good morning, Alice. I'm good, but a bit worried about our English grammar test tomorrow.
I know, right? English grammar can be so tricky sometimes. What parts are you most worried about?
Mostly tenses and subject-verb agreement. I always get confused.
Me too. Especially with past perfect and present perfect tenses. They seem so similar.
Exactly. And then there's the subject-verb agreement. Sometimes it's hard to remember the rules.
Yes, especially when the subject is a bit complicated, like with collective nouns or when the subject and verb are separated by other words.
Do you have any tips on how to remember these rules?
I usually try to practice a lot. Doing exercises and quizzes online helps me. How about you?
I like to use flashcards. I write the rules on one side and examples on the other. It helps me remember better.
That's a great idea. Maybe I should try that too.
You should. It's really helpful. Plus, you can take them anywhere and study anytime.
Monday afternoon, study group.
Hey, Elizabeth. Do you want to study together after school today? We can go over some grammar exercises.
Sure, Alice. That sounds like a good idea. Where do you want to meet?
How about the library? It's quiet and we can concentrate better there.
Perfect. I'll bring my grammar book and some flashcards.
Great. I'll bring my notes and we can quiz each other.
Sounds like a plan. See you at the library after school.
See you there.
Monday evening, at the library.
Hey, Elizabeth. I found us a good spot near the window. It's nice and bright here.
Thanks, Alice. This is perfect. Let's get started.
Okay, let's start with tenses. Can you explain the difference between past perfect and present perfect?
Sure. The past perfect is used for an action that was completed before another action in the past. The present perfect is used for an action that happened at an unspecified time before now.
I see. So, for past perfect, you'd say, she had finished her homework before she went to the party. And for present perfect, you'd say, she has finished her homework.
Exactly. You've got it.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Now, let's do some exercises to practice.
Good idea. Here's one. By the time we got to the station, the train, leave. What's the correct form?
By the time we got to the station, the train had left. Right?
Yes, that's correct. Now your turn to quiz me.
Okay. She, live, in Paris for 5 years. What's the correct form?
She has lived in Paris for 5 years.
Perfect. You got it.
Tuesday morning, before the test.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Are you ready for the test?
Good morning, Alice. I think so. I reviewed the flashcards last night. How about you?
I feel pretty confident. Our study session really helped.
It did. I'm still a bit nervous, though.
Me too. But we've prepared well. Just remember to stay calm and focus.
You're right. We've got this.
Exactly. Good luck, Elizabeth.
Good luck, Alice. Let's do our best.
Tuesday afternoon, after the test.
How did you find the test, Elizabeth?
It was okay. Some parts were tricky, but overall, I think I did well. How about you?
Same here. The tenses questions were tough, but I think I managed.
Yes, those were challenging. But the subject-verb agreement questions were easier than I expected.
I agree. I'm glad we practiced those. It really paid off.
Definitely. I'm so relieved it's over.
Me too. Now we can relax a bit.
Yes. Let's treat ourselves to some ice cream after school.
Great idea. We deserve it.
Wednesday morning, at school.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Did you get your test results back yet?
Good morning, Alice. Yes, I did. I got an A.
That's amazing. Congratulations, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Alice. How did you do?
I got a B+. I'm happy with that.
That's great, Alice. We both did well.
Yes, we did. Our hard work paid off.
Absolutely. Now we just need to keep it up.
For sure. Let's keep practicing and improving.
Wednesday afternoon, English class. Today, we're going to review some common grammar mistakes. Let's start with subject-verb agreement. Can anyone give me an example?
The team is winning. Even though team refers to a group, it's treated as a single unit, so we use is.
Excellent, Alice. Now, can someone explain when to use who and whom?
Who is used as a subject, and whom is used as an object. For example, who is coming to the party, and whom did you invite?
Very good, Elizabeth. That's correct.
I always find that one tricky. Any tips for remembering it?
Think of who as he, she and whom as him, her. If you can replace it with him or her, use whom.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Wednesday evening, homework session.
Elizabeth, do you want to work on our English homework together?
Sure, Alice. What do we have to do?
We need to write sentences using different tenses and then identify the subject and verb.
Sounds good. Let's start with the present simple tense.
Okay. She plays the piano. The subject is she and the verb is plays.
Perfect. Now for past simple. They visited the museum. The subject is they and the verb is visited.
Good. Let's do present continuous next. He is reading a book. The subject is he and the verb is reading.
Nice. For past continuous, we were watching a movie. The subject is we and the verb is were watching.
Great. Let's do a few more for practice.
Thursday morning, at school.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Ready for another day of English class?
Good morning, Alice. Yes, I am. I feel like we're getting better at this.
Definitely. Our practice is really helping.
It is. I'm actually starting to enjoy learning grammar.
Me too. It's like solving puzzles.
Exactly. And it feels great when you get it right.
Yes, it does. Let's keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Friday afternoon, English class. Today, we're going to learn about conditionals. Can anyone explain what a conditional sentence is?
A conditional sentence usually has an if clause and a main clause. It describes a situation and its possible result.
That's correct, Alice. Can you give an example?
Sure. If it rains, we will stay home. The if clause is if it rains, and the main clause is we will stay home.
Excellent. Now, can someone explain the difference between the first and second conditional?
The first conditional is used for real possibilities in the present or future. For example, if I study, I will pass the test. The second conditional is used for hypothetical or unreal situations. For example, if I were rich, I would travel the world.
Very good, Elizabeth. That's exactly right.
I always get confused with the second conditional. Why do we use were instead of was?
Were is used instead of was in the second conditional to indicate that the situation is hypothetical or unreal. It's a special use of the subjunctive mood.
I see. That makes sense.
Thursday evening, study group.
Hey, Elizabeth. Do you want to review conditionals together?
Sure, Alice. Let's do it. They can be tricky.
Yes, they can. Let's start with the first conditional. If you practice, you will improve. What's the condition and what's the result?
The condition is, if you practice, and the result is, you will improve.
Exactly. Now, for the second conditional. If I had a car, I would drive to school. What's the condition and what's the result?
The condition is, if I had a car, and the result is, I would drive to school.
Perfect. Let's try a few more examples.
Okay. If it doesn't rain, we will go to the park. First or second conditional?
First conditional. Condition, if it doesn't rain. Result, we will go to the park.
Right. Now for the second conditional. If I knew the answer, I would tell you.
Condition, if I knew the answer. Result, I would tell you.
Excellent. I think we're getting the hang of this.
Yes, we are. Let's keep practicing.
Friday morning, at school.
Good morning, Elizabeth. How was your evening?
Good morning, Alice. It was good. I feel more confident about conditionals now. How about you?
Me too. Our practice really helped.
Definitely. Are you ready for our English class today?
Yes, I am. I think we're going to learn about passive voice.
That's another tricky topic. But we can handle it.
Absolutely. Let's do our best.
Thursday afternoon, English class. Today, we're going to learn about the passive voice. Can anyone explain what the passive voice is?
The passive voice is when the focus is on the action rather than the subject. The object of the action becomes the subject of the sentence.
That's correct, Alice. Can you give an example?
Sure. The book was read by the student. The focus is on the book, not the student.
Excellent. Now, can someone explain how to form the passive voice?
You need the verb to be in the correct tense and the past participle of the main verb. For example, is eaten or was written.
Very good, Elizabeth. That's exactly right.
I always get confused with the tenses. Any tips for remembering them?
Just practice. The more you use the passive voice, the more familiar it will become. Also, try to convert active sentences to passive and vice versa.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Friday evening, study group.
Hey, Elizabeth. Do you want to practice the passive voice together?
Sure, Alice. Let's do it. It's a bit confusing.
Yes, it is. Let's start with a simple sentence. The chef cooks the meal. How do we change it to passive voice?
The meal is cooked by the chef.
Perfect. Now for a past tense sentence. The teacher graded the tests. How do we change it?
The tests were graded by the teacher.
Excellent. Let's try a few more examples.
Okay. The cat chased the mouse. Active or passive?
Active. To change it to passive, the mouse was chased by the cat.
Right. Now for future tense. The company will launch the new product.
The new product will be launched by the company.
Perfect. I think we're getting better at this.
Yes, we are. Let's keep practicing.
Conclusion. This detailed conversation between Alice and Elizabeth covers their journey of learning English grammar over a week. They discuss their challenges, study techniques, and various grammar topics such as tenses, subject-verb agreement, conditionals, and passive voice. The dialogue uses simple vocabulary and sentence structures to make it accessible for intermediate learners. Through their dedication and collaboration, Alice and Elizabeth improve their grammar skills and gain confidence in their English language learning.